My idea of animal testing is seeing which piece of pig tastes nicest in a sandwich. People say animal testing is unethical, but if we don't test on animals, we're testing on humans, and until those tests involve robotic limbs, I'm not signing up. But since animals have been helping us cure diseases, then I thought it was only my turn to give something back, so I've been eating these cat pills these past few days. I'm not lying when I say I'm feline pretty bad. This could have been a catastrophic mistake. Guess it's too late to pussy out now. Anyway, I want to discuss the point at which animal testing goes too far. The saga I'm talking about starts off with two scientists, Cortex and Brio, working on a device to make animals super smart called the Evolvo Ray. Why is it inventions in fiction never have cool sounding names? You just put two words together and bam, that's a patent. A board that hovers is a hoverboard, a game showing visuals is a video game. If this were the case for everything, trying to extinguish candles on a birthday cake should be called a blowjob, a neckpiece made out of feathers should be called a hentai, and being trapped in a situation where you have to help others in a remote location means you'd be stuck in the missionary position. So after using the Evolvo Ray on the Bandicoot named Crash, Cortex tries using a device called the Cortex Vortex to put Crash under his control. Wait, you made him strong and then tried to take control of his mind? I think your logic's a little backwards there. That's like trying to catch a butterfly but first injecting it with cocaine. So after Crash inevitably escapes, Cortex then tries experimenting on Crash's girlfriend, who comes under the classic story sin. Right, we need some character motivation, but we don't have the resources to create actual character development. How do we get people emotionally invested?
Put tits on it, everyone likes those.
But that seems a little bit simple.
Make them huge tits, like just massive, like planet destroying.
I knew we paid you for something.
You're paying me?
So the rest of the game is spent running through the wilderness fighting animals and Cortex's henchmen. I have to say the native wildlife isn't that intelligent. Maybe they needed that Evolvo Ray more than I realised. The animals barely react to Crash's presence even when he's invincible. Call me weird, but if I saw a man running at me wearing a mask and no shirt, I would probably find a new route for my morning walks. So after the events of the first game, we are assigned to get a laptop battery for your sister Coco. At least you're not seeking some sex symbol for once. I'm not against a sexualized love interest, but at least where I live we have a certain social stance covering bestiality. You might have something similar in your country. Here in Britain we call it the law. Anyway, without really ever being explained, we're transported away to Cortex's station where he says that he wasn't evil and needs you to collect the crystals for him because, and brace yourself for a minute, there is going to be a huge planetary alignment creating a solar flux threatening to destroy the planet unless we collect the crystals to run a power matrix. So we went from save the girl to planetary alignments, solar fluxes and power matrices. How did we get so complicated so quickly? I wasn't complaining about the boobs, I think they're awesome. Well, it seems Cortex has got us stuck in the missionary position, so we better do what he says. Our mission is to collect the crystal so Cortex can use it on the Cortex Vortex to stop the solar flux. Wait, wasn't the Cortex Vortex the mind control device from the first game? And we're absolutely sure he's not evil now. Chances are it's the same invention, we should probably stop giving him power. I mean, Coco spends large portions of the game hacking into the station telling us Cortex isn't to be trusted, which is impressive considering her battery died. We absolutely sure he isn't going to pull anything.
Cortex isn't going to use the crystals to contain the planet's energy. He's going to harness the force and use it to power the super Cortex Vortex he has built on his space station. One blast of the ray will cover the entire world, turning everyone into Cortex's mindless slaves.
Wow, that plot thread was so twisty I didn't see where it was coming from. Who would have thought that a bold mad scientist with a history of animal cruelty could actually be evil? Next you'll be telling me bandicoots are real creatures. So the point of the second game was to collect crystals and then confront Cortex just so we could steal them. Of course we won't be so foolish twice. So in the third game we have to travel through time periods to collect crystals before we have a final confrontation with Cortex. Does he try to steal the crystals in the end?
I'm sorry.
The third game was notable for making Coco a playable character, although compared to most people, I didn't like her that much. You can see it in her levels when she jumps on the tiger. Crash will give the players a suggestive look before riding a pussy, but Coco barely reacts like it's something she's seen 100 times before. Why does she have a laptop again? Crash games were well known for having funny death animations, although the word death has a very loose context in these games. For instance, being kissed by a dude makes you lose a life. Giant breasts, homosexuality, were you just playing sex bingo by this point? Okay, technically it isn't homosexuality, it's just a play on the Frog Prince. Actually, that doesn't make it less sexual at all, you've just gone back to bestiality. You know what, game devs? I was happy letting sleeping dogs lie, but if you're gonna lie with them, then excuse me if I avert my eyes and forget what your company is named after.